In a quiet suburb, there lived a 17 years old boy named Andrew. He was known as a quiet and withdrawn teenager by those around him. But in his quiet world lurked a side of him that hoped for happiness and joy, as he had always lived alone, with no one to lean on to share his feeling with. One cold, cloudy, and foggy afternoon, Andrew was pedaling his bicycle hurriedly. As light rain began to hit his skin, Andrew quickened his pace, remembering the distance to his house. When Andrew reached a three-way cross in the road, he stopped abruptly, undecided which way to go. Andrew decided to take the disturbed road. Andrew entered the road with a feeling of anxiety. The hair on the back of his neck slowly stood on end as his bicycle drew closer to the supposedly haunted house. Once he was very close, Andrew pedaled with all his might. He was going so fast, then he lost his balance. He fell and hit his head hard on the asphalt. He started to lose consciousness, but in the time, he see a girl that's standing in the front of the haunted house. Andrew woke in a hospital room, and a crowd of people who wanted to see his condition. He saw someone that familiar, a girl that smiled at him standing in the front of the door, but he seemed to forget who was the person. 1 week later, Andrew's condition improved. The doctor allowed him to return home, and Andrew resumed his activities as usual. As Andrew ran toward the classroom, he accidentally bumped into a girl. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, said Andrew while helping to pick up the girl's fallen books. It's all right. Thanks, said the girl. Their eyes accidentally met, and Andrew immediately rushed off to class. Andrew saw her name tag called Michelle. That girl looks familiar to me. Break time arrived, and Andrew was panicked reading a book in the library. While Andrew was in the novel section, he accidentally ran into Michelle. Hey Andrew, we met again. You like reading novels too? Oh yeah, what a coincidence. I'm looking for a novel by Raya right now, said Andrew. Oh yes, me too. I really love all of the Raya's works. Yesterday, I just finished her book titled Hujan, said Michelle with a smile on her face. Oh yeah, that's my favorite novels too. Wow, we have the same fondness. And that was the beginning of their story.
Andrew's day has changed, becoming a symphony unlike anything he has experienced before. Since meeting Michelle in the library, his world, which was once grey, has become a vibrant canvas. Every step he took to school was accompanied by the sense of wet earth after rain, a sense that always reminded him of Michelle. Andrew laughed more often. His eyes, which were once dull, now reflect the light of life. But his love brought shadows. His friends started to distance themselves. Andrew is talking to himself again, someone whispered. The warm gas he once had turned cold. They didn't realize that he was talking to someone they couldn't see. He didn't care. Michelle gave him a reason to lie. But when he tried to touch Michelle's hand, he felt only cold, empty air, as if the world were looking at him.
And this change were becoming increasingly obvious. His parents saw him walking alone in the middle of the night, talking to empty space and writing the name Michelle on every page of his book. They was worried about their son. Then they took him to a psychologist. Andrew was invited to have a private conversation with the psychologist. The doctor's voice was soft but firm, like a knife coated in honey. Andrew, they said, you have paranoid schizophrenia.
Michelle isn't real.
But she was there.
Not real? How could someone who had been there to this loneliness be an illusion? How could the comforting embrace be just a figment of his imagination? He was given a pill, a small blue pill like a piece of the sky that had fallen to earth. Each time he swallowed one, the world became more silent, and Michelle's voice became fainter. Until that night, Michelle arrived. Her face was pale in the moonlight, her eyes sparkling like broken glass holding tears. Andrew, she whispered, softly yet bitterly. Why are you avoiding me? Why did you let the guilt arise me? Andrew panicked. I want to get better, Michelle. I want to be myself again. Michelle stared at him with a wounded look. I am you, she cried. I'm part of your heart that the world has never healed. The atmosphere exploded. They argued. Their words hit each other like a thunderstorm, even though the room was silent. Andrew shouted, I want to live in a real life. Michelle shouted back, I'm your other self, Andrew. Without me, you are nothing. Why are you doing this to me? Then, Michelle's body began to tremble, slowly falling into a shower of light dancing in the air. Andrew knelt down and tears began to fall from his eyes. He finally realized that Michelle was merely a reflection of his broken soul.
Passed slowly, as if time itself was breathing, and read in the therapy sessions and took his medication regularly. The world now felt more real, but also more empty. There was no more of Michelle's soft laughter, no more of her voice calling his name in the wind. Every night, he stared out of his bedroom window, hoping Michelle would appear, even just as a faint shadow in the reflection of the glass. But all he saw was himself, fragile but alive. Michelle is slowly fading, like morning mist surrendering to the sun. One morning, Andrew watched as the sun rise slowly. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the warm light touch his face. Thank you, Michelle, he whispered, for being alive in my darkest hours. And for the first time, Andrew knew what it felt to be in peace. He knew that happiness didn't mean not losing, but being able to come to terms with pain. Time passed, and the season changed. Andrew's heart began to heal as he made peace with his past. Although Michelle's presence had long since faded, she remained in his memory. Andrew knew that happiness did not always come from having someone, but from the world we were born to learn to stand on our own. Even when the shadows chose to live, ability to love without holding on. He looked at the morning sky that he had once shared with Michelle. He smiled slightly and whispered, Thank you, Michelle. You were once my life. Because, unfortunately, every human being will walk alone on their own path. We was born to learn to stand on our own, even when the shadow chose to live. And Andrew, after all the pain and shadows, finally he found himself again.